Last week, we started a series on our core values, our guiding principles as a church. And regardless of the composition of your family, this value is the same. We must build healthy families. Healthy families, healthy marriages help produce lifelong followers of Jesus. When mom and dad together obediently follow Jesus, it makes a huge difference in the spiritual trajectory of their children. The United States has the world's highest rate of children living in single-parent households. Just over 15 million families are led by a single mom. Almost a quarter of children under the age of 18 live with one parent, no other adults. Well, 8% of children live with grandparents. Combined, that means a third of the children in our country do not grow up in a traditional family. But just because your family isn't a traditional family doesn't mean it can't be a healthy family. No matter the makeup of your family, we want to help you make it healthy. And the same principles apply. Now, there's a lot that goes into making a healthy family. I could talk for weeks, but today I want to focus on one area. If you get this area right, it will dramatically increase your family's chance to be healthy and whole. You might recognize this. Families used to sit around a table every night and eat together. Depending on what part of the country you grew up in, it was called dinner or supper. Growing up, my mom didn't work outside the home until I was older, so she made dinner every evening. We sat around the kitchen table at 5:30, and we actually looked at each other and talked. In fact, me and my two sisters liked talking so much that we had to take turns telling about our day. Now, there were rules at our dinner table. Number one, you had to clean your plate if you wanted dessert. I hated that rule, but I loved dessert, so I did it. I just remember one time I didn't. My mom made Brussels sprouts. I'd never had them before, and it was a requirement. You had to eat everything. You had to try it, and you had to finish it. I couldn't. I was just gagging. It was so horrible. And my mom was like, "You're being dramatic." And then she tried it, and she's like, "Okay, no one has to eat Brussels sprouts." We went straight to the brownies. And still today, I don't like Brussels sprouts. Morgan Jumper made me try them a few weeks ago. They're still absolutely horrible. I don't know why you people would eat that. Another rule was no TV during dinner. In fact, there were no screens of any kind. And no one could answer the phone. The one phone, which was mounted on the wall and connected by a long cord, you weren't allowed to answer it during dinner. Rain or shine, happy or sad, good times and bad times, we always had dinner together as a family. There were times I didn't want to be there, but now some of my best memories are from the family dinner table. For many years, my mom set an extra place at the table. It was almost always filled. What I took for granted, other people loved being part of. It was a popular thing to join our family for dinner, not because of the food, although the food was good, but because it was fun being together. And we never knew who was going to show up for dinner, but almost always someone else showed up. Wow, the world has changed, hasn't it? Family dinner table has been replaced by drive-through windows, meals in a sack, and cup holders in the car. People don't do dinner with the family very often, if at all. In fact, I'm afraid they wouldn't know what to do at the dinner table. What we do instead is life on the run, a frantic race from commitment to commitment. Soccer and t-ball games. Some of you, your kids are in multiple sports. Cheerleading practice, dance lessons, swimming lessons, gymnastics, school, work, church, grocery shopping, orthodontist appointments. That's before you get home to everything waiting there. House cleaning, laundry, paying the bills, make sure your lawn looks better than the neighbors, feeding the dog, the fish, the hamster, the gerbil, the hedgehog, the snake, the cat. When all of that's done, You still have the kitchen to remodel, the cabinets to repaint, and gutters that need cleaning. Life is busy. Life is too busy. We are always in a hurry. Come on, admit it. You count how many people are in line at the grocery store, and some of you try to stand in 2 lines at once to see which one moves faster. With me, no matter what line I get in, it's always the slowest. You change clothes in your car while you're driving. You get frustrated with people who actually slow down or stop at a yellow light. You walk up the escalator and get mad when people just stand there and accept the slow preset speed. The other day, I watched a lady putting on her makeup while talking on the phone, all while driving on the highway. We're too busy. Today's families are busier and more stressed than ever before. We are programming, scheduling, and multitasking the family out of existence. Is it any wonder that people are depressed and stressed and marriages fall apart? In the 1960s, experts testified before a Senate subcommittee about time management, and they predicted that because of technology, within 20 years, by the 80s, people would radically cut back on the amount of hours they worked in a week, the amount of weeks they worked in a year, and they would start retiring earlier. They predicted the greatest challenge would be what to do with all the free time we would have as a result of the wonderful technology. Didn't exactly work out that way, did it? We're too busy. We actually brag about our busyness, how many hours we work, how few hours we sleep, and our ability to multitask. I'm convinced the number one enemy of the family today is not society's redefinition of the family. It's not sexuality or gender issues. It's not the internet. It's our schedule that makes families unhealthy. We are too busy for that which should matter most. So how do you change? Everything seems important. What do you drop? How do you find more time for your spouse, for your kids, for your parents, for your siblings, for your extended family? How does a family survive in today's incredibly busy world? Some of you might be thinking, well, I don't have kids living at home still, so this doesn't apply to me. Wrong. This could be a huge challenge for empty nesters because for years, your life has been oriented around your children. I remember when we dropped Tyler and Parker off at college in Texas. When we just dropped off Tyler, that was tough. But then when we dropped them both off and we left, Cindy and I got in the car, started driving. She was just staring straight ahead. I was crying. After about 20 minutes, finally I said, "What are we going to talk about?" That's all we've done for 20 years. What do we do now? Someone else would say, well, how about me? I'm not married. I don't have kids. I understand, but if you don't lead a family of your own, you're most likely part of a family. Kids, parents, grandparents, siblings, you may not live in the same house, but they're your family. And if you're truly all alone, if you have no family anywhere, or if your family's dysfunctional and abusive, then we're your family. And we need to learn how to be healthy together. So don't tune me out. These principles apply to individuals and families. If your family is going to survive in this busy world, the first thing you have to do is determine your priorities. Is school the number one priority? Where does church fit on the list? What matters most? Cheerleading? Sports? Student ministry? Work? Social status? Where does God fit in your busy life? Why is church attendance on the decline? It got crowded out by other priorities. You decided something mattered more. Why is the family dinner table empty? It's not that you don't love your family and you still eat. It just lost out to other priorities. Something else mattered more. We know time together as a family is important, but apparently it's not as important as other things. You can talk about all day about what matters, but if you want to know what your priorities really are, check two things. Where do you spend your time? Where do you spend your money? That reveals your priorities. So what's the most important thing in the world to you? What comes in second? Determine your priorities. If you don't determine your priorities, life will determine them for you. You have to decide what really matters. When our oldest son, Tyler, was ready for college, I told him, son, I'd love to have you close. I always try to convince our students that Pulaski Tech is the Harvard of the South and that everyone should go to Pulaski Tech. Yes, I'm looking at you, Callie. I said, son, I'd love to have you close, but that's not my number one priority for you. Where it is, how much it costs, what your degree is, that's not what I care about the most. Nothing matters to me more than you being a lifelong follower of Jesus, that you follow him wherever you go, whatever you do. That's the priority. That was our number one priority for our entire family, to be lifelong followers of Jesus. That priority then determined our path. That helped us make decisions. As an individual, as a family, you determine your priority, and then that priority determines your path. We didn't allow our sons to take jobs or be involved in school activities or sports that kept them out of student ministry on Wednesday nights or church on Sundays, because our top priority was not gas for their vehicle, popularity at school, or athletic success. I wanted them to have a full tank. I wanted them to have lots of friends, but none of that mattered more than following Jesus. Priority determines path. If you haven't clearly defined your priorities, then you're subject to just whatever pulls at you next. When Parker was in middle school, he and I had breakfast at Waffle House every morning possible. It changed the time I woke up, my workout schedule. I got to work later. It was horribly inconvenient. But my time with Parker mattered more than sleep or working out. Priority determines path. If you've never done it, sit down as a family or sit down individually. Decide what matters. What matters most to you? Where does God fit? How important is school and extracurricular activities? How big a priority is a vacation together? Where do sports fit? What matters most? Determine your priorities. Then number two, defend your priorities. Satan can win simply by distracting you from your priorities and making you too busy. Actively fight for your family. Fight for your priorities. So I want to give you some tips, some things that will help you with this. Number one, block family time on your calendar. Every family's different. My travel schedule has been hectic for the last 20 years or so. So family vacation was very important for us. We planned it in a year in advance. We made decisions together about where we were going to go, what we were going to do. We have no activities scheduled as the church on Monday nights. That's a natural place to start. Make Monday night family night. Spend time together. Play games. Go to a movie. Eat dinner together. It's very rare that we will allow something to encroach on Monday nights. Monday nights together are important to us. That's what we do. Now, the right amount, the right approach for you is up to you, but here's a starting place, an action step. This week, spend 1 hour together as a family. Turn off your cell phone. No texting allowed. Put the cell phones in a drawer. Spend 1 hour together with your spouse, your kids, your family. You say, Pastor Rod, 1 hour isn't much. It's 1 hour more than you're spending now. If you don't live with your family, get on FaceTime, get on the phone, spend 1 hour. I've never heard someone say at the end of their life, you know, one of my regrets is I wish I had spent less time with my kids when they were growing up. I wish I had made less time for my marriage. The problem in our family was way too much time together. Never heard that. Scheduled time for what matters. Number two, learn to say no. Your children want to have a friend over or go to a friend's every night. Learn to say, sorry, not tonight. Will they be mad at you? Probably, but they'll get over it. Defend your priority. Defend your time as a family. Say no. If you and your wife have an evening planned and your buddy calls and wants to go to the driving range, you should go to the driving range. No, just say no. There will always be things pulling away from your priorities. That's the nature of life. That's a strategy of our enemy. Say no. And let me help you. You don't have to make up an excuse or explain why you can't do it. Just say no. Don't say you're sorry that you can't do it, because that's a lie. You're not sorry that you can't do it. Just say no. Hey, do you want to come out to eat tonight? No. You want to go fishing? No. Do y'all want to come over to our house? No, we don't. Want to come over and scrapbook with me? No, I don't. It's really that easy. Just say no. Okay, I want to help you. Repeat after me. No. Okay, you don't have to say it angry, right? See, that's the thing. We think we got to be angry. Just say no. Yeah, you can just say no. It's relatively easy to say no to bad things, but it's not only bad things that fight your priorities. Often it's good things. There's nothing inherently wrong with them unless they keep you from your priorities. You can't do it all. Don't try. Instead, be sure you do what matters. Determine your priorities. Defend your priorities. Third, have fun together. When my parents were growing up, the church had a basic philosophy. If it was fun, it was sin. Anyone grow up in church like that? Come on, some of you remember that. Roller skating, sin. You would roll on those skates straight to hell. Playing basketball, sin. In fact, going to a basketball game was a sin. One time, my mom, when she was in high school, lied to her parents and snuck out and went to a school basketball game. Her dad found out. He marched into the gym in the middle of the game, up the bleachers, took her by the hand, and drug her out in front of the whole school. TV, sin. It was a one-eyed devil intent on destroying your soul. Okay, well, they got that one right. I still remember, this has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. We had black and white TV still when black and white TV wasn't cool. And we would ask our dad, we'd say, could we get a color TV? He said, oh, that's a fad. That's never going to last. Bowling, sin. Playing pool, sin. Playing cards, horrible sin. Didn't matter what you were playing with those cards. Now, I know some of you, well, I'm not going to tell stories. You don't just play cards. Some of you taught my boys to cheat at cards. Sin. Any game with dice, do not pass go, straight to hell. Going to a movie, absolutely a sin. I remember the first time I went to a movie, it was a G-rated movie about a horse. I don't remember the movie because I spent the whole time praying that Jesus wouldn't come back while I was in a theater. Because I knew if Jesus came back while I was at the movies, he was going to leave me there with all the other sinners. I was going to be left behind. Swimming, as long as there wasn't a member of the opposite sex within half a mile, it was okay. But if there was a girl there, sin. Anything fun was sin. You could eat, sing, and go to church stuff. Some people still equate fun with sin. We do something fun in church, they get mad at me. They must be reading a different Bible than me. Let me read you a few verses. Proverbs 17:22. A cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. Ecclesiastes 3:4. There is a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. Genesis 21. Sarah said, God has brought me laughter, and everyone who hears about this will laugh with me. Job chapter 8. There's even a fun verse in Job. He will fill your mouth with laughter and your lips with shouts of joy. David in Psalms chapter 4. You have filled my heart with greater joy. Psalms 20, verse 5, we will shout for joy. Psalms 28:6, my heart leaps for joy. Psalm 128, how happy are those who fear the Lord, who follow his ways. You will enjoy the fruit of your labor. How happy you will be. How rich your life. You get the picture. The Bible is full of laughter and dancing and singing and joy. If that's not fun, what is? Serving God is supposed to be fun. Matter of fact, I talked with our team a while back. I said, we need another core value. We need to make core value fun. Now, we haven't done that yet, but maybe we will. Some of you grew up in quiet churches where nobody ever laughed. Nobody ever made a sound. That's okay, but they missed out on so much. Serving God is supposed to be fun. It is okay to have fun in church. It's okay to laugh in church. If we can't have fun here, something's wrong. Christians are not supposed to be dull and gloomy and perpetually sad. Following Jesus gives me joy, and when I have joy, I have fun. I want to have fun in church. It's just as necessary to have fun in your family. Now, I understand life is tough. The challenges are serious. It's an election year. The frustrations are many. That shouldn't stop you from every now and then just having fun. Fun isn't always wacky or crazy. You don't have to do zany things like my family. Fun is just being together, doing something you enjoy. You might watch a TV show together. Some of you need to turn on Bluey or Paw Patrol and have some fun. You can play games together. I don't mean video games, I mean games. You know, like Uno or Risk or Trouble or Sorry. Imagine that, family fun without electronics. That's possible. Matter of fact, here's a fun game. This game is called Headbands. And I can't describe the game to you. I'm just telling you it's fun. And if you're old, and if you're 6 years old, it's a fun game that you'll enjoy doing together as family. I want to give somebody this game, but I don't want to make the decision who gets it. Pastor Brian, would you give someone this game? If you'd like the game, Pastor Brian will give it to you. Who'd like that game? There you go. All right, Pastor Brian's going to be it's just better because I don't want people mad at me. I'm fine if they're mad at him. There you go. Have fun. It's a good game. When Maverick and Evie comes over, Maverick always wants to play adventure helper. You say, well, I don't know what that is. I don't either. We just get a bunch of stuff and we go upstairs and whatever he says, I do. And that's called adventure helper. We just have fun. I've heard all the excuses. Well, we can't afford to have fun. Fun doesn't have to cost money. Every time I get a package wrapped in bubble wrap, I save the wrap. Maverick and Evie love to jump on it and make it pop. Their dad doesn't like loud noises, and so we terrorize him. It's free fun. Play a game of basketball in the driveway with your middle schooler, or take everybody to the park. Fly kites. Get out the sidewalk chalk and lay down and make outlines of bodies and let people wonder what happened. Go for a walk. Train for a race together. Ride bikes. Play catch. Get every pillow and blanket in the house and build a fort. Then read or tell stories. Maverick and Evie love building forts and then tearing down the forts. Your kid has a room full of toys. Play with them. Cook or bake together. Just say, hey, you know what we're going to do today? Let's all make our pasture a coconut cream pie. This will be fun. What better fun can you have as a family than that? Work in the garden. Now, I think that's evil and not fun, but some of you are twisted and you like that, so go ahead, knock yourselves out. Have a picnic. Look at the stars or watch clouds. Turn up the music and have a dance party. Watch the sunrise or the sunset. Fun doesn't have to cost money. Just be together. Another excuse, well, we don't have time to have fun. I hate the excuse, I don't have time. When someone says to me, well, I'm sorry I didn't do that, I didn't have time. I always say, did you eat? Did you sleep? Did you watch TV? If you did, you had time. You just decided you didn't want to do it. People say, well, I don't have time for my family until a crisis comes, and all of a sudden you make time. Don't wait for a crisis. Have fun now. Remember, your time is about your priorities, and priority determines path. If you don't have time for fun, you need to redefine your priorities. Relax. Laugh a little. Have fun. Third excuse, well, we don't enjoy the same things. So what? Fake it. Sacrifice your preferences. When Parker was a kid, he really wanted to ride four-wheelers. I never had an interest in riding four-wheelers. We got four-wheelers, and we rode them. Why? Because that's how I could spend time with my son. Your preferences are worth trading for time with people you love, and you might even find a new way to have fun. Say, well, the kids get on my nerves. Get over it. Every family should have fun together, and the moment is fun. The best part is remembering it later. Encourage memory making. At the end of every day together or every trip as a family, I ask the same thing. Okay, everybody's got to list your top 3 things. And we all take turns sharing our favorite. Make memories together as a family. This next one seems obvious, but if you want to survive in a busy world, slow down. John Ortberg wrote, and I put it in your outline, for many of us, the great danger is not that we will renounce our faith. It is that we will become so distracted and rushed and preoccupied that we will settle for a mediocre version of it. We will just skim our lives instead of living them. Slow down. You can't do everything. You're not supposed to do everything. Now, I struggle with this one. When I started as pastor almost 23 years ago, I went to everything. First 5 years were a blur. If a class had a party, I was there. If 3 people were meeting, I attended. If 4 old ladies were making quilts, I brought snacks. I felt I had to in order to establish leadership and connect with people. And on some level, I was right. I needed to be there. But I finally had to ask, can I sustain this pace? The obvious answer was no. I couldn't. It's impossible. I can't be at everything. Especially if I also want to keep my relationship with my family and my relationship with God current. I have to say no to some things. So do you. We get busy doing good things, lots of things, and what suffers is our family time and our time with God. We know we should spend time with God daily. We want to spend time with Him, read the Bible, and pray. We're just too busy. When you're too busy for God, that's too busy. When you're too busy to pray, that's too busy. When you're too busy for church, something's wrong with your pace. When you're too busy for your family, you're too busy. It's time to slow down. How does your family survive in a busy world? How do you keep your priorities in order in a world that tries to tug you in so many different directions? This is the key. This is what I want you to remember. In a hurried, hectic, busy world, put God first. Put God first in your life and in your family's life. A well-ordered life starts with putting Him first. It's amazing, but when I start with Him, the rest of my day is less stressful. Now, I'm not saying that if you spend a few minutes with God every morning, you'll get everything done, you'll never feel pressured. It doesn't work like that. But when your first priority is pleasing God, your heart becomes aligned with Him, and you're more equipped to say wise yeses and nos. Finally, this principle: every area you put God first invites God's blessing into that area. When you put God first in your finances, the result is God's blessing and protection. When you put God first in your business, God blesses and protects your business. When you put God first in your schedule, God protects and blesses your time. Put Him first. When you put God first in your family, God protects and blesses your family. Put Him first. We're too busy. And in response to that, here's what Jesus said: "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. 3 steps. Determine your priorities, what matters most. Defend your priorities and put God first. And if you'll do those 3 things, with God's help, you'll have a healthy marriage and a healthy family. Now, I want to pray God's blessing for you and your family as you put him first. Would you allow me to pray for you today? Heavenly Father, I pray for people in this room, people watching online. Lord, I'm aware that some people come from families that are unhealthy and dysfunctional and abusive. I pray for them today, knowing that even as we talk about healthy families, that it can be particularly painful when you realize your own isn't. I pray, God, that you would help them break the cycle in their family system and family structure, and they would be able to be healthy with you and with others. Lord, I pray for other people who are ready to give up on their family. I pray, God, that you would capture their attention and they would have a serious time with you of redefining priorities and remembering what matters most. Then, Lord, I pray for every family represented here, a whole lot of different family structures and different composition. But I pray, Lord, that the blessing of health as a family together. Lord, I pray that you would help people as they determine their priorities, to determine the priorities that are right and pleasing to you. Then, Lord, I pray you would give them the wisdom and the strength to defend those priorities, that their families together would follow you. As they put you first, I pray your blessing and your protection, your goodness and your help. Lord, we're especially thankful today for moms, and we pray your blessing upon them. In Jesus' name, amen.